بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين، أما بعد. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارزقنا علما نافعا في الدين والدنيا والآخرة يا سميع الدعاء. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the past, we went through the word hada, and the word hada indicates, or it is a noun, rather indicative noun that we call in Arabic language ismul ishara. And ismul ishara lil qarib. This is another way that we can learn. Ismul ishara lil qarib means the indicative noun for nearness. So you're pointing something that is near to you. You are indicating towards something that is near you, or near anything that is easy to describe. And it is, in terms of gender, what gender do we mention for the word hada? Masculine. What's the Arabic word for that? We mentioned the Arabic word for it. Any idea? How do you say masculine in Arabic? Mudakkarun. By the way, here we're going to have the full word, by the way. Okay, so if there is anything at the end, the harakat, we must mention it. And that's the approach that we'll take, inshallah. And when you are best in speech and whatnot, you can omit the harakat, no problem. Okay, so ismul ishara lil qarib mudakkar. Okay, ismul ishara lil qarib mudakkar. So the word hada, it cannot be written like this, like the way you're pronouncing. Okay. However, in terms of explaining it, we can explain it. While we are writing it with alif, it is to have a stretch when we are reading the word, right? So please bear that in mind. Can I get that tissue box, please? Tissue box. So mention للقريب. اسم الإشارة للقريب. And we mentioned this is مذكر. So اسم الإشارة للقريب مذكر. And we are not putting any haraka for this alif because it is known as hamzatul wasl. Okay, in terms of writing it, we are going to keep this alif without haraka, just so you know. And because it is beginning at the beginning of the word, that's why we are pronouncing the letter alif. Hamzatul wasl usually is not pronounced, whether it is with a or e or u. Okay, but whenever it comes to the word before hamzatul wasl, you will see that the a is not pronounced. The hamzatul wasl is not pronounced. Okay. I'm thinking of a word. Like, for example, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. If you were to break the word Bismi, and this is, by the way, in Bab al-Fa'ida, just for the benefit, we write down Bismi like this, right? This is how we write down Bismi. In the Quran, you see Bismi like that. However, it consists of two words, Ba and Isim. The Arab eventually, in the time of Uthman radiallahu anhu, when the Quran was compiled, that is how the word Bismi became. Okay. So, when it comes to just the ayah itself, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. However, if you go, for example, Surah Al-Waqi'ah, and again, min Bab al-Fa'idah, Surah Al-Waqi'ah, if you go to the very last verse, Allah says, فَسَبِّحْ بِسْمِ رَبِّكَ الْعَظِيمِ. Okay. In that فَسَبِّحْ, that verse, it is written like this. Okay. It is written like this. Bismi. But when it comes to the Basmala, any surah that you start, before it you have the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, that is known as Basmala, that is always with this. And remember, this is the qa'idah that we take from the Arab. As the Sahaba radiallahu anhu ajma'in, those who were literate, those who knew how to read and write, that's how they have written it, and that's how we take it. So, in the last verse of Surah Al-Waqi'ah, Bismi, Alif is there, Alif is not pronounced. And here, Bismi, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alif is not there. Okay. But now, when you grow older with learning Arabic language, remember always there is Hamza always, that is known as Mahduf. Okay. Mahduf means omitted. Okay. So that is why Alif usually is not with the haraka. That's why I did not put any haraka. So that's the benefit that I wanted to share with you. So we went through words. Can anyone tell me as to how many words in terms of vocabulary you have written? And have you got any separate section to write down the words that you have learned through this lesson for the last 2-3 sessions, if I'm not mistaken? And how many words that you did you manage to collect? Mm-hmm. Makan al-Sujud, mosque, okay, but there is a particular word for the Makan al-Sujud. Masjidun, okay. How many words, can anyone give me a number as to how many words one have written down? One had written down. So, so you have written down 13, 14. How many have you written down? Okay. So this needs to be a habit. In terms of language learning, even when the ones who are not from here, when you came to this country, you had to go through the language learning process. Okay, the ones who are from abroad, we had to study it. I was not fond of actually writing vocabularies, but I have seen the people who have benefited from it. Because for me, my learning style was different. I would not recommend that you go through my style of learning. I would rather use a traditional way of learning, and that is that you have a collection of words. That's known as the vocabulary. So in the first lesson, we went through Baytun, we went through Qamisun, we went through Miftahun, we went through Najmun, we went through Masjidun, as the brother mentioned that in terms of animals, we went through Kalbun, we went through Himarun, we went through Hisanun, we went through Jamalun, we went through Qiftun, Dikun, Mudarrisun, Mindirun, Miftahun. So have you written these words? We mentioned what? About 15 words? So you need to, any lesson that you go through, new word, from top of the page to the bottom of the page, draw a line. On the right side, you have the new words. Write them down. Okay. Have this. Inshallah, Aziz, it will come in handy. Okay. We mentioned Sarirun. We mentioned Kursiyun. We mentioned Miftahun, Babun. All these things. So do not let them go away. Okay. So I want you to have them in your collection, inshallah. Now that we have done this one, this is Hada. In terms of explaining the rules and regulations we mentioned, and we went through the questioning as well. If it is about anything that is, I can't remember, there's a word for it, we went through. So there is man and there is ma in terms of asking question. So man hada, it means who is he, right? We have been through that. And we mentioned that hada mudarrisun, for example, or hada tabibun. So you have man, and then you have ma. These are in order to ask questions. So you can put either one of them before the word hada. Okay. And man indicates only human for the human beings. Okay. And ma indicates for anything other than humans. So in terms of answering the question, we mentioned, by the way, there's another form of a question, that is, we went through hal, did we not? Then we mentioned yes or no answer, didn't we? So if we said hal hada, is this hal hada qalamun? How did we answer this? Na'am, hada qalamun. Okay. And if we say hal hada qalamun, what was the answer? La hada mindilun. Right. So remember this. And when it comes to the we mentioned also Remember, ahada, always when it comes to the at the beginning of the sentence, let's say and we put before hada, always it indicates affirmation. Meaning that if you are being asked ahada qalamun, predominantly the answer will be yes. And the is used for something obvious. You see the difference between and hal? And sometimes exceptions are there. Exceptions can be. As much as we would like to say that the is used for something obvious, it also switches to negative as well. Okay. Negative means that, okay, this is not a pen. This is not a pen. Still, I'm saying ahada qalamun, and you're like, la hada mindilun. You would say it. Okay. So there are, these ways that you better get used to it, inshallah, as you go through the learning, inshallah. So the ones who have a Medina Arabic reader, this particular book, page 12, it gives you a separate section of vocabulary. Page 12. 24 words are here from the very first lesson. From the very first lesson. By the way, this is an old printing. So I think even with you, the new printing will have that. Okay? 24 words. So please be mindful of these words and try to memorize them. Even if they don't make sense, just carry on. Inshallah al-Aziz, today's lesson would be something to do with ba'id. What is ba'id?
Far.
Far. So something, this one we mentioned ismul ishara lil. What did we write down here? Qarib. Qarib. It means something to do with near, right? Now, this one is ذَلِكَ. Okay. So I have written down this, which you know as alif al-qasir, or in your language you say it is standing fatha, right? But even if it is written in Arabic language like this, consider that there is a stretching. ذَلِكَ. As you know in Surah Al-Baqarah, after alif lam mim, what do you say? ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, right?
In case of Allah, it's like a wow.
It's not wow. I will explain to you. When I'm writing fast, you will come to realize that it's not. So basically, for those who don't understand, kaf is like this, right? You have this one, right? But when you're writing quick, you just go. It's not if it is wow, it would have been straight all the way here. So sorry about that. So dhalika, if there is no standing fatha, then there is no standing fatha. Bear in mind that there is a stretching. Okay. That's why if you look at the Uthmani font, and when I say Uthmani font, not the Indo-Pak font, not the Indo-Pak font. So Uthmani font, you will see still there is like this, and there is no alif as far as I'm aware. Okay, can somebody confirm me that? Uthmani font. Who has the Uthmani font, Quran? You have not on the phone? So here in Uthmani font, they have written it down, the original Fatha, as I did this. And also,
in Allah as well.
yeah, in Allah as well.
Harakat.
Yeah, just simple haraka, but there is stretching. Now, if the Arabs, for explaining purposes, if they write it this way here, know that there is a stretching. Harakate, which means 2 counts of a stretching. That is the basic mad, by the way. Going back to what I was saying, Zalika, Ismul Ishara is still, but this time this is Lil Ba'idi. And the rest are pretty much same. Okay. No, this is Indo-Pak font. Yeah. Even though I learned the Quran in this, I'm not a huge fan of it at all. Okay. Well, many things are against what the Arabs have done, actually. Allahu Musta'an. But that's different discussion. So we mentioned ذلك اسم الإشارة للبعيد. Okay? للبعيد. And in terms of gender, it is still مذكر. Okay? So earlier we said هذا مذكر اسم الإشارة للقريب, and this is ذلك اسم الإشارة للبعيد. The last word, what is the last word written there? مذكر. Okay? That's the gender. So pretty much what we used in terms of nouns in lesson 1, they can also be used in this lesson as well to indicate something that is far. Okay. So if we say ذلك قلم, not that I'm saying that the qalam is if the qalam is there, then you see that there is a qalam. ذلك قلم. Okay. Then you say that this door, the door that you see, the door that you came through, ذلك ماذا? ذلك باب. Here we go. Now, outside this building, on the other side, you see something, house. ذلك بيت. Okay. And if you see a horse, ذلك حصان. Okay. So let's say that here we have got a donkey, then we would say هذا حمار وذلك حصان. Remember the horse that you said. So you just differentiate what is near and what is far. Okay. So now I'm here and there is a book on the table. هذا قلم وذلك كتاب. هذا قلم وذلك شيء, what do you call it? كرسي. هذا قلم وذلك شباك. Okay, you can say شباك. شباك is the like accent you could say, but there is word for it. The actual window is called nafidatun, and nafidatun is now female by the way. So that's why we're keeping it. That's why I didn't use the window as an example, because I know that there is tam marbuta at the end. Okay. هذا قلم وذلك ماذا؟
هذا طالب.
In his hand.
Oh, in his hand. Okay.
جوال. You see, you're gonna get caught off guard. So be mindful of that. هذا قلم وذلك, what do you call this brown thing that Khatib uses? Minbarun. Okay. So this red thing, let's call it a table, okay? هذا قلم. Now, table in Arabic, there is a gender issue because it is not the gender that we're using. What would you have used then? Let me test you with that. So we mentioned here, هذا ذلك مذكر. What is the مؤنث of ذلك? You will come across that lesson inshallah in the future. No. تلك. هذا قلم وتلك طاولة. Even like gender male and female, you will come across in one sentence. Okay. So something that a person sleeps on. هذا قلم وذلك سرير. Okay.
محضن as well.
محضن doesn't work when it comes to bed. Okay, firash works. Not this firash. This is also known as firash, by the way. But that is also work. يعني نام على فراشه. In Arabic language, you have this sentence. نام على فراشه means that he slept on his bed. Okay. So you have these terminologies being used. Okay. So something that you write on. What do you call this in Arabic?
مكتب.
No. Something that you write.
دفتر.
دفتر. هذا منديل وذلك دفتر. Have you ever come across this word, دفتر? So write down if you haven't again, so that you can when you go home, you write this word down. I will write it down, inshallah. Okay. So you have دفتر. Another word can be used, كراسة, if I'm not mistaken. Have you ever come across this? كراسة, which is also known as the notebook that you're using. Okay. So you've got دفتر. Synonymous to this is كراسة. Okay. So دفتر كراسة. Same word, notebook. So remember, we said man, ma, hal, a. We're going to use these as well for ismul ishara lil ba'id, which is what chapter we are on? What lesson we're learning about? Dhalika, right. So if we were to ask man dhalika in Arabic, it would not make sense. Okay. Generally speaking. But if somebody, let's say, within this hall now, and the person is within this hall, within visibility, still it would not be appropriate to ask man dhalika, but it is good to, it is possible, and it is something that you will come across. For example, the one who's sitting in the back, man dhalika. If we were to ask man dhalika, then you would know dhalika, you would tell by the name that dhalika kada wa kada, dhalika talib, dhalika imam. Okay. So if somebody asks man hada, let's say that he's teaching Arabic. Man hada, what do you say, teacher, in Arabic? I explained to you, Ustadh there, don't use Ustadh over here. Okay? In Arabic language, Ustadh is somebody with the highest achievement in education. Okay? Yeah, Mudarris, remember that. General term, Mudarris. Okay? Muallim Mudarris. So, man hada wa man dhalik. If I were to ask, how would you answer it? Man hada? Hada? Mudarrisun. Remember, listen very carefully. هذا مدرس وذلك
ذلك طالب.
طالب, imam, whosoever that you know. If Sheikh Zakaria was here, you would have called him ذلك imam, right? So we mentioned هذا كرسي هذا منديل, right? Now, if the kursi is far, we mentioned what? ذلك كرسي. What's the other word for kursi we mentioned? And I gave explanation. It was a bit something to do with the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We mentioned kursi being the footstool of Allah's arsh. What is the actual word for chair then? What is the actual word for chair then? Yes. Another word is
مقعد.
maq'adun. Okay. Maq'adun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا. Those who remember Allah while standing and sitting. Qu'ud, qa'du, qaf, ain, dal. These are the root letters. Remember, sin, jim, dal, root letters to do what? Says that. So if you put meen before sin, jim, dal, becomes what? Masjid, place of prostration, right? Similarly, qaf, ain, dal is something to do with sitting. And before these three letters, if you put letter meen, it becomes something to sit on. And that is chair. Does it make sense? I'm making myself clear with this explanation.
Also, in English, is seat. Is seat.
Yeah, a seat. Yes, you can use the seat. You can use the chair, as people are used to now calling this. Okay, take a seat. Now, if you say take a seat, seat on what? On the ground, on something, right? That's why they ended up saying that here on the chair.
It meant something else as well. It meant something
Like
other than seat.
yeah, other than seat. Yeah. So appropriate word in Arabic language. Even though the Arabs are used to the word kursi a lot, karasi, kursi. Karasi means chairs, okay, and kursi means chair, singular and plural. That's the difference between karasi and kursi. But the actual word was this. And if you look at the Qur'an now, as I'm giving you the example of the Qur'an, from the Qur'an rather, the verse that I mentioned was from Surah Al-Imran. وَلِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. Allah then said, الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا. So قياما وقعودا means that standing and sitting. Now sitting, at that time there were no chairs and whatnot. People used to sit on the ground. Now different areas they have got different places to sit on. So you've got sitting on the ground, then you've got sitting on the chair. Predominantly people when they use the sitting, they say it on the chair. That's why the word maq'ad comes with this understanding. And Allah also mentions in Surah Al-Qamar, the very last verse, إِنَّ الْمُتَّقِينَ فِي جَنَّاتٍ وَنَهَرٍ فِي مَقْعَدِ صِدْقٍ عِنْدَ مَلِيكٍ مُقْتَدِرٍ. Okay, this word maq'ad is also there, referring to a sitting on something. Okay, so that's the explanation of the word maq'ad. Now, something sweet that we put in our hot drink. What do you call that? Sukkarun. Sukkarun, right? So something that is not sweet when we put in our cooking. Put it
in salt, milk.
Okay, milk. That is salt, right? I'm talking about sukkar and milk. If I were to say هذا سكر وذلك ماذا؟ ملح. If you see a small jar of salt, right? And if you see something to drink over there, let's say that a white drink. What do you call that white drink?
Milk.
Yeah, white drink. Arabic.
Okay, laban.
Labanun. Okay. Labanun is the word that is used in the hadith as well, and it is the how to say it, like the afsah al kalimat, yani the purest Arabic word to describe a milk, right? The current Arabic word for milk is what? حليب. شربت الحليب انت؟ طيب. So حليب. That's what even the current Arabs are used to, as these two are behind you. So هذا سكر وذلك ملح. هذا شاي. What does shai mean?
Tea.
Yeah. Shai means tea. And وذلك حليب. And this, you know, you've got the liquid liquid fire in the air. Okay. So from this first two pages, lesson two, you've got some new words, by the way. So underline them or write them on the notebook. I would prefer that you write down on the notebook so that you have the habit of writing it. Okay. So some of you have got more books. So if I could ask you to join him with sharing, and if I could ask you, brother, with the glasses, come sit next to him. I'm talking to you.
Me. I've
Yeah.
got one. I've got one.
Yeah, this brother.
Oh, he hasn't got one. Okay, sorry.
Okay, if you could share with him, I'll appreciate that. Jazakallah khair.
Download it. You can download this book.
Got it on his phone now.
Oh, you got it on your phone. Jazakallah khair. Sorry, I didn't know. Who hasn't got the book? What is a notebook? You don't have a notebook. Can you see that there is something on the chair there? Get that notebook and start writing. If you see some pencil, then collect the pencil, please. Start writing. Okay. And you too, have you got book? Okay, please share it. So lesson two, Ad-Dars Al-Thani. Lesson two, we have got page 13. The words that are like dhalika we mentioned as that is. Remember, hada we mentioned this is because there is always at the end, right? So what we're describing these asam. Dhalika najmun, that is a star. Najmun, underline it for the vocabulary. Then hada masjidun wa dhalika baytun. As you are seeing in the picture, that masjid is near and a house is far, indicating the distance, right? So this is a masjid and that is a house. And by the way, why am I saying a house and not the house?
The house is common now. Anybody.
Okay. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is
Is known and that
there
he's
is no alif or lam.
yeah
So here it is indefinite. I believe that's the word, right?
yeah.
So what are the indefinite words when it comes to English language? There are two as far as I know. What are they? So for definite we have the. What are the indefinite ones?
A and
A and N. When do you say N? And when do you say A? How many letters of vowel are there?
A
Yeah, that's the thing with the Brits.
E I O U
Oh, now it got into you, yeah? Five you said. What are they?
H
A, E, I, O, U. Yeah, okay. A, E, I, O, U. Five vowels. Is it taking you back to your school when you were studying grammar in this school? Allahu Akbar. So A, E, I, O, U, any of these letters, if they come at the beginning of words in English language, we have N. And sometimes even for the sound of
yeah
any letters of vowel, still you will have to use N. You cannot say A honest, can you? Can you say A honest? An honest man, you see? But again, going back to what I'm saying, it's not English lesson. So there is a reason as to why I mentioned this. In Arabic language, there are letters that are known as huruf al-illa, similar to vowel. Okay. What are they? Alif, waw, ya. These are the huruf al-illa, by the way. Okay. And there will be further explanation. I'm just giving you just a brief as to, what are the huruf al-illa and what are not the huruf al-illa. Okay. Other than these three, you would consider the rest to be huruf al-illa. Now, in Arabic language, there are two types of letters. Who can tell me? Not the huruf al-illa, by the way. Sun letter, moon letter. Have you heard of this? Huruf al-shamsiyya, huruf al-qamariyya. So, what does huruf al-shamsiyya mean? So, let's take the example of sheep. Alif, ba, ta. Let's take the example of a ta, letter ta. If you put al before it, can you say al-ta'ibun, for example? Al-ta'ibu. So you see, the lam is not pronounced. So lam is not pronounced when it comes to hurufu mada, hurufu shamsiyya. And when it comes to hurufu qamariya, you would have the lam to be pronounced, right? Okay. What is the example of lam being pronounced in hurufu qamariya? Who can give me the al-qamar, for example? Here we go. He's intelligent enough to get the word al-qamar. Letter qaf, yes. Letter qaf, okay. Kaf as well. Al-kalam. Al-kitab, bayt, for example, okay. Even alif is also, if I'm not mistaken, falls into huruf al-qamariya, okay. Al-ilah, for example, the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-ilah, if you look at it. So that is, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in this book, inshallah, you will find, but that is for your extracurricular activities. So here, generally speaking, we are going through indefinite nouns, the nouns that are with a and an. That's why you would not see al, okay? But there will be time where it would be the head, inshallah, you will see. As a matter of fact, next lesson you will see, inshallah, the example of with al, without al, okay? And how the haraka would also change. So when we say the word kita, what do we say at the end? Just listen to me carefully. Kita, how do you finish the word? Kita, kitabun. We have dhammatay, right? So if you put al, what will happen? It's just dhamma, single dhamma, okay? So just to give you a heads up for the next lesson, inshallah. Now, the ones who have the book on page 13, these new words, please underline them so that you can write down on your notebook, even though they are on the page, let's say, the way that you found out in, let's say, for example, this lesson, you've got lesson 16, right? Sorry, page 16 rather. Page 16, there are some vocabulary, but you are seeing only 4 words. But I want you to write down the words that you see on each page. For example, in lesson 13, you have come across word, underline them. Even though they are similar, still underline them because you need to be in the habit of doing so. Okay. Mudarrisun, you have written down. What do you call the rock or the stone in Arabic? Huh? Hajar. I'm indicating far. So what would you say? ذلك حجر. وذلك باب. نعم. You see that green sign, exit. What do you use the exit in? What is the Arabic word for exit? ذلك مخرج. ذلك مخرج. So مخرج ميم خا را جيم مخرج. Okay, G with ضمتين. Okay.
What's the difference between makhraj and khuruj?
Khuruj means going out. Makhraj means the place through going out.
Saudi is in the roads.
Yeah, khuruj, yeah, that's they also say that, but that has different context. Whereas here we are talking about makhrajun means a place through which, through which you will go out.
On the road, what does it mean?
On the road, it means that you are leaving this road.
Exit.
No, makhraj is there as well, and khuruj is there.
So I agree. So makhraj means a place to take the
Exit.
a place to exit. Okay.
Khuruj means
Khuruj means that you are out. You're going out.
backside the masjid.
So, that's what it is. Khuruj is noun for makhraj, you could say, in this regard. So the word khuruj is actual noun. Makhraj is.
Makhraj is known as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A place to take the exit, and the khuruj means exit only. So that's why they're using the word exit a lot. So it is their way of understanding English. So let's not get into that.
Yes.
Okay, that's why Arabic, when we say Arabic, even now, if you have, let's say, a navigation in which you have the volume of the volume is up, in Arabic language, still they will tell you خذ هذا المخرج. The way that we have it in English, take the exit in 200 yards, for example, when you are using the navigation, whether you're using Google or Waze, it doesn't matter. Still, you will hear that you take the exit, Okay, so now the exit, if you were to turn it into Arabic, it will say makhraj, take the exit. Now it's not al-makhraj we are saying, but mafhum al-kalam, or the understanding of it, that take this exit. That's how it is understood. So the way they understood it is the way that they have written it down on the board. That's what you have witnessed. Okay. So we have another noun, by the way, in this lesson, because we are describing two things. We were describing hada and we were describing dhalika. In between that, there was a letter. Who can actually tell me what that letter is? So, hada, dhalika. So, two things. So, in English, you are saying that this is a pen and that is a board. The word and in Arabic is wow. Wadhalika. Remember, wow fatha. Remember that it is and. So if you know it, that's good. But if you don't know it, write it down. The word wa actually means and. So that is also a form of vocabulary. In the list of vocabulary, you can add this word as well. Okay. And remember, when you're writing it, the word wow is written close to the following word, the word that comes after it. Okay. Even though I've written it down, but when you are reading, as you will see, for example, in page, I believe page 13, look at the closeness of the words wow and dhalika. Look at how close they are. Okay. Let's get on with. Let's move on to lesson 3. By the way, with lesson 1 and 2. Now that you have understood هذا ذلك اسم الإشارة للقريب اسم الإشارة للبعيد. Now let's go into lesson number 3. Okay, lesson number 3. It will be a bit. I would say. I wouldn't say tricky. Intense, we would say. Okay. Because there will be many confusing things and whatnot. But inshallah, it will be easy. Earlier, we mentioned هذا قلم. And we said, this is a pen, right? So whenever we are saying هذا, we are saying this is. Now, when you see the word al-qalamu, you are saying, what would be the closest meaning to al-qalam? What is the meaning of al-qalam there? The pen or the pen, however, the way that you say it. Now it is indescribable. Nothing is being described as to what's going on with the pen or whatnot. Okay. So if you look at, for example, this page 17 of Medina Arabic Reader, you see the word al-qalamu. After that, it is written maksurun. Okay. Maksurun. Now the word maksurun, it means is broken. Is broken. So here you've got a description of the pen. So earlier we just said it is al-qalamu, the pen. Okay. And if I were to say qalamun, just qalamun, what would you have said in terms of meaning?
A pen is
A pen. So qalamun means a pen, al-qalamu means the pen. Okay, you see the difference now? So dhammatain, it means a pen, and without dhamma and al at the beginning, it means the pen. Description is not there. So usually the word maksur, as it is, you are seeing on page 17, it came after al. And look at it. It has dhammatain. It has dhammatain. So basic description of it. Okay. But when you learn it, inshallah, as you are on this journey, there will be ways where you could say al-qalamul maksuru, the broken pen. Okay, al-qalamul maksuru, the broken pen. And here, al-qalamu maksuru, the pen is broken. Even think about it in English. I mentioned al-qalamu maksuru, the pen is broken. And I mentioned earlier al-qalamul maksuru, the definitive broken pen. Okay. Then qalamul maksuru, a broken pen. Okay. So you see how these things work? In English language, you will find it easier, inshallah. You see, that's how you can describe things, and whether it is somewhere definitive, whether it is somewhere it is not definitive.
Does Maksur mean broken?
Maksurun literally means broken.
Is.
Yeah, is. Yeah, is broken in this regard. Why? Because it is. Yeah. Yes. So here you're talking about the pen. So al-qalamu means the pen. Maksurun is broken. I think I will write it down. That's 3 sentences that I mentioned. You can copy it, inshallah. So al-qalamu maksurun, as it is on the page. What is the meaning of it? What meaning did I mention of this sentence? The pen is broken. Okay, that's al-qalamu maksurun. Al-qalamu al-maksuru, the broken pen. Qalamu al-maksuru, and the last one, qalamul maksur. Is the meaning different than this? You see the trick question that I put you in now? Any broken pen. So, any broken pen or a broken pen. So in between that. So I would not use it for this one. So a broken pen actually can be for both of both these two, qalamun maksurun and qalamul maksurun. Okay. Even though here you've got dhammatain and no al. So what I'm trying to explain to you, as we have given the description, and this is the description, by the way. This is to describe something. Okay. Descriptive noun. Okay. Descriptive noun, if it is with al or with dhammatain, it is still pretty much same in terms of meaning. However, if the noun itself, as I mentioned, the word qalam, al, it changes. Okay. So al-qalamu, the pen, al-qalamul maksuru, the broken pen. You understand the difference over here. Okay. Definitely broken pen, and it is actually telling that the pen is broken. Whereas when it comes to the descriptive noun being indefinite or definite, it is still, normal. That's why you have a. That's the key difference between these two and these two.
But how we said that it can only be U, like color moon, if it's al, right the last one. There's color moon,
Well, why do you think I put them over here?
we follow the next one.
Next one has
Like, follows
exactly. So this al has changed this from dhammatain to dhamma. That's the key difference. You will come across such words, by the way. Okay, you will come across such words when you get into reading Arabic, inshallah. I know this is something advanced I'm giving you, but please bear with me, yeah?
What was the translation for this?
A broken pen is still, the meaning is still same. So qalamun maksuru or qalamul maksuru is still a broken pen. Why did I say a broken pen? And because this A is connected to this, okay? And the broken is still the same. Look at the pen, and the pen, there is still same.
So is there certain times when you use either the first way of writing a book and the second one, or can you use them anytime?
Sometimes. For example, now the pen is on the table over there. Okay, I've gotten no hold of the pen now. قلم المكسور هنا وذلك قلم المكسور وذلك القلم مكسور. So it plays depending on the circumstances. Okay, but in terms of the meaning, it is still there, a broken pen. Okay, now if you were to find the definite broken pen, that is when you would use al. Okay. So that's why these two, they are still saying that in terms of describing it, descriptive noun are written in two forms. Okay. And it also changes the meaning. As you have got descriptive noun that is not definite, it still is broken, is coming. So the copula is coming before the descriptive noun. Here is. When it comes to this descriptive noun, with defining it, or definite mark, which is al, and it has al at the beginning, then it actually follows what is before it. That's why the broken pen. Okay, and for sure it is broken. You are defining it. You are telling the audience that here for sure it is broken. As for these two, because the noun or noun itself is not al, okay. Whether you are saying it qalam. Remember, I was telling you in the dars al-awwal, in the first lesson as well as the second lesson, when we are saying the words, we are saying it full with the harakatayn, right? With dhammatain. So we are still saying that descriptive noun, it doesn't matter whether it changes with al or without al, still the meaning remains as such, as I have written for you, a broken pen. Inshallah, we'll delve into it further, inshallah, in the next halaqah. Allah barik fikum. So this is where, inshallah, we'll finish today's halaqah. And remember that you need to be in the habit of writing the Arabic words, okay? Even if they are repetitive, your hands will get used to it. For your own sake, please do that. And let your children also be in the habit of doing that. And some of the writing books that I believe in the first lesson I brought, and I believe you have taken some of the pictures of those books. If you have not, then please try to find them out. The brothers may have taken the pictures. So share it with the family members, and inshallah, you will get into it. Allah barik. Jazakumullah khair.